Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're having a great and wonderful day. I'm so sorry that I was not able to post videos yesterday. It was very annoying to deal with certain people around me yesterday and the day before. And honestly, I just didn't want to have to deal and have you guys be in a more upset and angry mood because of all the events and stuff that was happening around me. That's just the reality of everything, and life has dealt me a terrible hand, and I want you guys to give you my more upper and happier self than me and more my angrier and moody self, which it wouldn't be very good for anyone on this channel, especially me. So now I am back and ready to give out some videos. Today it's going to be a little bit weird. I may only be able to post 2, but that's fine. I will get more out throughout the week. I don't know if I'll actually do a stream to do catch up, so especially since yesterday wasn't like a massive news day, so I think it will be fine here. Now, without further ado, we're going to get into exactly of what's been going on in the past few days, especially even over the weekend. Where we have a lot more stuff that's happening in Ukraine and some of the crazy stuff that our great government is doing, specifically in the U.S. We have first, Abrams tanks arrive in Ukraine, Zelensky says. The first American-made Abrams tanks have been delivered to Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Monday, arriving months ahead of initial estimates and in time to be used in Kiev's counter-offensive against Russian forces. Now, I'm not going to read all of this, obviously, because 1 is from the New York Times, and 2, I just want you guys to get kind of the gist of what's been going on here. So, they are getting tanks, and we are going to be pushing back. So what we have here as well is that U.S. officials said that an initial batch of the 31 M1 Abrams tanks promised to Ukraine by the Biden administration had been delivered months ahead of estimates. So at this point, we are funding and fueling a war, so I don't know where they really want to go with this at all. We are, at the very least, in a joint war, which means we are at war. We're just not have boots on the ground. We're pretty much supplying them. It's like, hey, you go fight a war for us, and you guys can go and die for all we care, but keep us out of it. Just don't put, we are not going to use our men. That's pretty much it. And I'm not really a fan of that. I don't want Russian men dying, and I don't want Ukrainian men dying, and I sure as hell do not want American people dying. Now, some people take that there and saying like, oh, well, you think American people are better than Ukrainian or Russian? In some instances, yes, I do. And the only reason why is because it's our people and we protect our own people. We can't be governing other places and other places in other countries and what they do. It's not our place. It's not our ability. It shouldn't be our right to do so. If other people go at war, then so be it. Even so, Ukraine wasn't even our ally to begin with. They never were. So that being said, if they're not really our ally, why would we help them? Makes it really stupid to help people that are not our allies or God forbid, even in NATO, which I'm not really a fan of NATO at all. We have this here as well from 60 Minutes. We have that 60 Minutes discovered the U.S. is financing more than weapons in Ukraine. The government is buying seeds, fertilizer for farmers, paying the salaries of 57,000 first responders, and subsidizing small businesses. So, this is coming down to a very interesting thing, don't you think? To where they are, where our government is doing things that are pretty nefariously. I think, I think we're trying to colonize these people, which is completely dumb. I don't see to where this is going. I do not want U.S. to be part of Ukraine. I do not want U.S. people in Ukraine at all to be as what have you. I do not want it to be a state, put it that much. So, I don't know what's really going on here, but I am not liking it, and we're going to watch this video.
American taxpayers are financing more than just weapons. We discovered the US government's buying seeds and fertilizer for Ukrainian farmers and covering the salaries of Ukraine's first responders, all 57,000 of them.
So if you're going to start wondering why we are running out of money and why we are in such a problem and why our inflation is also going so high, well, I guess you can start blaming our U.S. government for paying and giving pretty much salaries to all these people. Now, I don't know about you, but if we start adding up and putting all the money in for Ukraine, which means the billions of dollars that they probably are spending on Ukraine outside of the war is also going to these people. So, we're not just, pretty much, trying to just help them in a war. We're also pretty much, supplying their economy and giving people actual money. That's a little weird. Why are we paying for these people that is not a part of our own country? This is what I mean by that Biden does not care about Americans. He cares more about the Ukrainian people than his own people. His own people are suffering, people are having a hard time putting food on the table, and then you have these delusional guys, these people, the Ukrainian people, yes, they're better than you. They should be suffering. I guess all those girls that are dancing and having fun in Kiev is having a great bloody time during their war because they're being funded by the U.S. I mean, these are obviously allegations or assumptions, but this is what I'm probably assuming here.
All 57,000 of them. That includes the team that trains this rescue dog, named Joy, to comb through the wreckage of Russian strikes looking for survivors. And the US also funds the divers, who we saw clearing unexploded ammunition from the country's rivers to make them safe again for swimming and fishing. Russia's invasion shrank Ukraine's economy by about a third. We were surprised to find that to keep it afloat, the US government is subsidizing small businesses. American tax.
It's just great, isn't it? It's fantastic that we are just giving all our money for all this stuff. All our taxes, the money that we're going to, is not even going to the American people. It is going to another country that has nothing to do with us, has nothing to do with the American people, and damned be it if it's us, the American people, that need this money, that need to have some type of survival. Maybe we can support our own U.S. citizens. Maybe we can support our own troops, our own or hospitalized people. But no, we have to just, for some god apparent reason, we have to go support Ukraine. We have to give every single one of these people our own money, our own tax money, and we know where it's going. Biden administration for you guys. Biden administration. We also have this. What U.S. taxpayers are getting for their money in Ukraine. So we have this. The U.S. has sent more than $70 billion worth of aid to Ukraine since Russian troops crossed its border last year. But now a battle is bringing Washington over the Biden administration's request for over $220 billion more. Many Republicans and Congress are opposed. Hardliners in the House want to cut off all funding. Others are demanding oversight. You went to Ukraine to get some answers for the people who are bankrolling the war. American taxpayers. How exactly is their money being spent, and who's watching the weapons and the cash to make sure they end up where they're intended? Our first stop at a forest 50 miles from the front line in eastern Ukraine. These are U.S.-made Bradley fighting vehicles, steel-clad behemoths hidden beneath the canopy, in a makeshift workshop that's difficult for Russian drones to spot. Ukraine's 47th Mechanized Brigade was only formed last year, but its soldiers have seen some of the deadliest fighting this year. I don't care about the actual fighting, I'm going to be honest. The only thing I care about is we're sitting all these things are going to exactly to the Ukrainian people and actually giving them jobs and stuff like that. And I have to probably stop showing this because, of all the fucking war that YouTube will not allow. So what it says is the U.S. has sent 186 Bradleys here at a cost of around $2 million apiece. Wow, that's a lot of money. Do any other, and then we have more here, that we have Lieutenant Oscar Lynch is a former sales manager and father of two who enlisted on February 24th, 2022, the same day Russia invaded his country. What are these U.S. weapons doing to the Russian military? What impact are they having? We can destroy them faster, we can see them far away, they afraid, really, even, so yeah, of course. The U.S. has spent just over $43 billion on military aid to Ukraine since Russia invaded. That's equivalent to about 5% of the American defense budget. European countries combined have contributed around $30 billion. Let's not forget, by the way, that we're also on a actual shortage of everything. So, as you can see here, guys, the U.S. government, the Biden administration, is sending all this money to Ukraine. And we have this slimeball Lindsey Graham here, this garbage human being that deserves nothing to be walked upon this earth, is also supporting this type of stuff as well. He goes on to say, people ask me if is it worth it. Here's what we've gotten for our investment. We haven't lost one soldier. We reduced the combat power of the Russian army by 50%, and not one of us has died in that endeavor. This is a great deal for America. Yes, of course, you guys just sacrifice all the Ukrainians because, that should be great. Here's the thing. Why not we just, maybe come up with a peace treaty? Try to get more peace negotiations going instead of, hundreds of thousands of Russians and Ukrainians dying every single day because, that makes sense. Well, not every single day, but you get the gist. But yeah, apparently we're just going to be sending money to the Ukrainians and apparently even their people and businesses because, that's just the thing we do. We just have to give all of our tax money to the Ukrainian people and not the U.S. people that are suffering right here in our home country. That's fantastic. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share, and as always, take care.